श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Prashnottara Ratnamalika by Adi Shankaracharya. So we are seeing here the important instructions, Upadesha, in a very compressed format in the form of questions and answers. So we saw how Acharya has introduced a value-based, following the Shastras, value-based life. And emphasis is on Dhanam, on Shamadamadi, Shakka, virtues, Satsanga, the role of Seva, the role of Guru, and so on. In the last session, we saw in question number 50th, the one who does not follow the guidance of the Shastras. No? See, today, maybe the Vedas, original Vedas are not accessible to us. Upanishads, we need some basic knowledge of Sanskritam and a Guru to guide us. But the secondary Shastras are there. Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas. Yeah, they also have the essence of the Shruti. Yeah, in a much more user-friendly format. But the one who ignore the guide maps, that is the Shastras, who are going to navigate us across the river of life to the other shore of immortality, are as good as dead, even though alive. Yeah, that is what we saw in the 50th verse. Yeah. And here the Guru, the Guru is the one who unfolds the Upadesha for us. We saw in the Dhyana Shloka. One of the Dhyana Shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita describes how, this treacherous river battle, the battle of Mahabharata, is likened to a river, which is infested with Shakunis and Duryodhana, sharks and whales, yeah, ready to, trap a person, the jiva, yeah. But the jivas are safely ferried across by Kaivartakaha Keshavaha. So that is the role of the Guru. The Guru's guidance will safely ferry the jiva across to the other shore. Yeah. Now today, in these verses from now on, we are going to see not more instructions on values and do's and don'ts, but now we are entering into the basic Advaita terms, which most of us are familiar with. Satyam, Mithya, Tucham, Avidya, Maya, all this we are going to see as we approach the finishing line of this Prashnottara Ratnamalika. So in a very compressed format, Acharya is taking us through the Karma Kanda of the Vedas and then bringing us into the Jnana Kanda. Yeah. So now we will continue with verse number 51. Ko dhanyas sannyasi, ko manyah panditah sadhuho, kasevyo yodata, ko data yorti triptimatanute. Here, there are 4 questions and answers. Kaha dhanyaha? Kaha dhanyaha? Answer is sannyasi. Kaha manyaha? Panditaha sadhuhu. Kaha sevyaha? यह दाता. कः दाता? यह अर्थी तृप्तिम आतनुते. यह अर्थी तृप्तिम आतनुते. So, in a very unique format, Acharya is introducing brief questions and even briefer one-word answers. So, kaha dhanyaha, who is really blessed? And the answer is again one word, which is a sannyasi, a renunciate. Yeah. Then the second question in the first line is kaha manyaha. Kaha manyaha is who is respected or who is to be respected. Yeah. See, these are all lep pratyas in Sanskritam. Who is to be respected? Answer is Panditaha Sadhu. One who is well educated, a scholar, and who is a sadhu. Yeah. So we will see, more about these two answers. So who is really Dhanya? There is one beautiful another composition of Adi Shankaracharya called Dhanyashtakam. Yeah. So what is Dhanam? Now, Dhanya is the one who has Dhanam. So there in the Dhanyashtakam, there are 8 verses by Shankaracharya who names the Dhanam as the spiritual wealth. Yeah? The wealth of Viveka, Vairagyam, yeah, Akartritvam, Abhoktritvam, Seva Bhava, Bhakti to the Lord. All these are beautifully described there, the true wealth or Daivi Sampat. Yeah? So here the answer is sannyasi. Yeah? Now, who is a sannyasi? We know. We think it's the last stage of life, the sannyasi ashrama, yeah, ochre-clad clothes. But in the Gita, we have seen who is a true sannyasi. Swamiji will say, why should we add an adjective like a real sannyasi and a true sannyasi and a good sadhu? We should not be doing that, right? Sadhus and sannyasis are supposed to be good. But we feel, Shankaracharya has said in Bhajagovindam, Udara Nimittam, for pet ke vaste, people can put on a show, yeah, and just clad in ochre clothes without the true renunciation. So a renunciation is, we have seen in the Gita, is how that small I, I am this, my house, my family, my children, my profession, my nature, my likes, my dislikes has expanded into the entire creation. So sannyasi is one whose understanding is ahameva idam sarvam. All that is here, the entire creation is me. Because the I has expanded limitlessly. And hence we see that beautiful Subhashitam. Ayam nijaha paro veti ganana lahu chetasam udara charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. A favorite shloka for politicians, especially our Honorable Modi ji. So, udara charitanam. So the people have expanded hearts and intellects. Vasudha is the kutumbakam. The entire world or earth is the family. So such a person, Acharya says, is truly blessed because he is enjoying the fullness without being dependent on anything or anyone in the world. Next question was kaha manyaha. See, manitva. Manitva means self-respect. But the one who demands manitvam, we know is not going to get it. Yeah? So respect is to be commanded. And so this who kaha manyaha panditaha sadhu. Yeah? A scholar is respected, we know why. Vidwan sarvatra pujate. A learned person is respected everywhere. But in addition, if the person is a sadhu, who is the sadhu? We saw in the last session. The one who enjoys Daiva Anugraham, who has total trust on Ishvara and minimum dependence on the world. No expectations, no demands. This is sadhu. So such a Pandita, maybe here Acharya means Pandita and sadhu or Pandita or sadhu. Yeah, whatever, such people are manyaha, are respected. Yeah? Then the next two questions in 51 are Kaha Sevyaha we saw. Kaha Sevyaha means who is fit to be served. And here the answer is Data. See, again and again, have you noticed how Acharya comes back to the value of Dhanam? How important the Dhanam is in life. Then the last question here is, then who is Data? Who is a giver? True giver. One who brings satisfaction to the needy. Yeah, yaha triptim atanute, arthi. No, we saw the Artha Bhakta in the Gita, right? Artha Bhakta is the one who wants some form of Artha. Artha means wealth or security in any form. So, Data, we'll come to the third question first. Kaha Sevyaha? Sevyaha, who is to be served, is Data. No? And who is a Data is a donor, no, a giver. And we have seen this, what is actual giving, Sattvic Dhanam, is one given to at the right place, at the right time, with the right attitude, with the right deserving person, yeah, is a true Data. Now, many of us, we would want to donate because we have in excess something. I have too many books, I need space, so I donate. Yeah, too many clothes, I want to simplify my life, be a minimalist, donate it. Or something that I perceive is not useful anymore, but it can be useful to others. So all these are reasons to donate. But here, Acharya stresses on, giving something that may be precious to you, but we give it to remove the need of a needy person. And such person is Sevyaha. The Subhashitam is there, Shateshu Jayate Shuraha. In hundreds of people, one brave can be found. Yeah? Sahasreshu cha panditaha, a learned person in 1,000, among thousands of people. Dasha sahasreshu vakta, tens of thousands, there will be an orator. But data bhavati vanava, where is the donor? So it's very rare to find such a humble giver. The giver who purely gives for the sake of giving. So such a person is Savior. Yeah? Then the last question in 51 is, then kaha data, who is the data? Is yaha arthi triptim atanute. So one who is able to give satisfaction to the needy person. So Dhanam is highly praised in our Shastra. And also it's beautiful, Bharat Desha is world renowned for its hospitality. We saw in the pandemic period also how our country donated, boxes of vaccines to less privileged countries. Then aid is given. So even at very high levels, we can see that the value of Dhanam is very deeply ingrained in our culture. Yeah. Then continuing. 52. Kim bhagyam dehavatām, kim bhagyam dehavatām, arogyam, kafali, krishikrit, kasyana papam, japataha, kaf purnaha, yaf prajavan syat. Kim bhagyam dehavatam. Next question. Answer arogyam. Kaha phali. Answer krishikrit. Kasyana papam japataha. No, kasyana papam is the question. Japataha is the answer. Kaha purnaha. Yaha prajavan syat. So here again, I think we have 4 questions. Yeah. Kim Bhagyam Dehavatam. Dehavat, we are all Dehavats because we have a Deha. Deha asya asti iti Dehavan. So embodied. So what is to be valued among the embodied? Very obvious answer, Arogyam, good health. Then Kaha Phali. Phali is the one who harvests? Phali. So who reaps? Very simple question, simple answer. Answer is one who cultivates. Yeah. And that is Krishi Krit, the farmer. Now here, we will look at these two. So Dehavat, we have seen that health is the greatest wealth. Without health, nothing is possible. We cannot perform our duty. We cannot do Shravanam. We cannot do any of the yajna-based life. Yeah? So Arogyam at all levels. Perhaps even more important is at the psychological level, because the physical ill health is a later manifestation, and all the diseases at the physical level are really psychosomatic. So Arogyam is very important. That is the bhagyam, a blessing and a value and the greatest fortune for the embodied. Then kaha phali. Phali is the one who reaps. Who reaps is the one who cultivates. It is just one who sows will reap. No? And this is what we see in the law of karma. In fact, chapter 13 Gita talks about how this body is a kshetram, field. No? And then there's a kshetraknyaha, the knower of the field. Yeah? So how I use this kshetram is like a farmer. How he tills his land, I am also going to reap the papa punyam phalam in this kshetram. In fact, that is what we are all reaping right now, what we have sowed already. Yeah. Then the next two questions are kasya na papam. Yeah. Next two questions are kasya na papam. For whom does papa not stick? And answer is japataha. Kasya na papam japataha. Japataha shashti ekavachanam. For the one who does japa. Yeah, very beautiful, simple answer. Then who kaha purnaha? Who is complete? Yaha prajavan syat. One who has praja. No? Praja is progeny, children, but we can add the virtuous good children. Remember there was a question, the good son or the good children of a family make the family bloom, like even the sun makes the lotus bloom. We saw that long samasa word earlier. Yeah? So here again, see papa, papa karma phalam. Papa at the level of action is something under some pressure I go against the dharma. Yeah? Knowingly or unknowingly. But then the effect is recorded and then it will translate into an unfortunate situation for me. Yeah? So here the answer is the one who does japa, repetition of a mantra, is protected by this mantra shakti. And so when I constantly chant the mantra, then I'm tuning into a higher level of vibration. I keep the mind at a very sattvic level. And when the svabhava is sattvic, thoughts will be sattvic, habits will be sattvic, conduct will be sattvic. And here also there is a subhashitam which goes like this. Krishataha nasti durbhiksham. Japataha nasti patakam. Mauninaha kalahaha nasti. Chabhayam bhayam nasti jagratah. All shashtis, yeah. That is for the one who is active in life, durbhiksham. He will never fall into poverty. Yeah. And for the one who's constantly having a background thought of God, patakam will be not there, fall will be not there. Yeah. Maybe some papa karma phalam from some previous birth will still manifest, but I'll be protected from now on if I continuously do japa. Mauninaha kalahaha nasti. The one who keeps shut, chup sadhana, how can he enter into an argument? No arguments will be there. And then jagrataha, one who is ever alert. Yeah, bhayam nasti. There is no fear. Yeah? So that was kasyana papa. Then kaha purnaha. Now, this is not the Purnatvam of Advaita. Kaha Purnaha, the answer is given with respect to life. The one who is complete in terms of the family. Yeah? The one who has the children who are dharmic children who make the parents proud of them, and the children also become contributors. See, parents already contribute children to the society. Yeah. But then the children have to further contribute in return. Yeah? And such a person is really Purnaha. Yeah? That was number 52. Continuing to 53. Shloka first. Kim dushkaram naranam, kim dushkaram naranam, yan manaso nigrahah satatam, yan manaso nigrahah satatam, ko brahmacharyavan syat, yaschas khalitordhvare taskaha. Kim dushkaram naranam, yan manaso nigrahah satatam, ko brahmacharyavan syat, Yaschas khalitordhvare taskaha. Here there are only two questions. Yeah? And what are they? Kim dushkaram naranam. What is difficult for all the naras, us humans, to accomplish in life? And answer is obvious. Yan manasaha nigraha satatam. The complete mastery over the mind. Repeatedly we see in the history how the external conquest is far easier than Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti. Conquest over one's own mind. As the Swami Shivananda has said, the mind is like a mad monkey intoxicated by wine and bitten by a scorpion. Such is the behavior of a mind which is continuously bossing us. I want this, go for this. Now run away from this. Tossing and turning, the turbulent mind. And so this question is referring to Shamaha, Mano Nigraha. Shamaha is the mastery of the mind. So here Acharya is not really telling us how to master the mind, but what are the pitfalls in life and what are the which route to take. Yeah? So mastery of the mind can be best done by japa, by satsanga, by meditation, by karma yoga, to have a routine of the mind so that it does not slip into mechanical, impulsive, the lower nature of the mind. Then the second question is, who kaha brahmacharyavan syat? Who is a brahmachari? And we saw that long Sanskrit word here. Yahacha askhalita urdhva retaskaha. Retas is the reproductive fluid. Yeah? So who is a brahmachari? We understand the meaning is obviously a chaste person. Yeah? But the Shastra says that brahmachari is the one brahmani marge acharati yaha. The one who is seeking the truth, seeking Brahma, is a true brahmachari. So in any stage of life, whether brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, one can be a brahmachari, if there is a discipline over the sense organs. Yeah? So here it is said that prana, the prana is universal energy. But if the prana is allowed to be is indulged in lower planes of life, yeah, we're indulging, wasting it, frittering it away, then what is the difference between nara and animal? Sleeping, drinking, eating, fear instinct, reproduction is common to animals. So that same universal prana, when we take it to higher levels, yeah, through yoga mainly, through yoga and japa, raising the energy upwards, then there will be a more subtle expression of the same prana instead of the gross manifestation. Yeah? That is what is meant here. Yeah? When the prana is brought to the heart level, for the sadhus, we see the same prana will express as universal love. Then when it is brought even higher, that is the Siddha Purusha, complete knowledge over the entire universe. But at the lower chakras, lower levels, it will manifest as the lower functions of the body. Yeah? So a true brahmachari is the one who lives a regular, disciplined life. In any ashrama is a brahmachari. Continuing to 54th. Kacha paradevatokta chit shakti chit shakti. Shashchoti is the sandhi here, I think, consonant sandhi. Chit shakti. Ko jagat bharta suryaha sarvesham ko jivana hetuho saha parjanyaha. Kacha paradevatokta chit shakti ko jagat bharta suryaha sarvesham ko jivana hetuho saha parjanyaha. Here there are 3 questions. Kacha paradevata ukta. Devatas, we know devatas, there are presiding devatas for every function in our body. Yeah, Surya is for the eyes, yeah, Ashwini Kumara for the nostrils, and so on. But what is that which is beyond the devatas? Chit Shakti. Chit Shakti is the power of consciousness. Yeah? Then, Jagat Bharta Kaha, who is the sustainer of the Jagat? Bharta we saw as the protector, yeah? Who protects and sustains. And the brief answer given here is the sun. So again here we see Paradevata Ukta Ka. Who is the Paradevata? Who is Param, even beyond the Devatas? So in Tattvabodha we have seen how there are Devatas for each organ, sense organs. Yeah, Indra for Bahubalam, and Vishnu for Gamanam, the feet, and so on. But who is empowering these Devatas? That is the power of the Supreme. And that power of consciousness is Chit Shakti. Yeah. Then Jagat Bharta, who is the sustainer of the Jagat? Jagat means this planet Earth here, and that is the Surya. But then who is empowered Surya? That is the same Chit Shakti or the power of consciousness. Yeah? That is the Adhara, Jagat Karanam. Then we have one more question here. Sarvesham Kaha Jivana Hetuhu. Sarvesham Kaha Jivana Hetuhu means what makes life possible for all. Jivana Hetuhu Kaha. And again, a very brief answer, Saha Parjanyaha. Rain, Parjanyaha. Water is life. Yeah? Annad bhavanti bhutani, Parjanya tanna sambhavaha, Yajnat bhavati Parjanyaha, Yajna karma samudbhavaha. Remember in the Gita, we have seen how the rain makes Annam possible. And Annat Bhavati Bhutani. We are all born of Annam, Annamaya Kosha. And so life is possible only when there is food. And food is possible through rain. Yeah. And how does rain happen? Rain happens when there are good people who are offering a yajna-based life. And yajna happens because of it is a karma. So the whole cycle is complete there. Then we go on to 55th. 55th verse. Kaha Shuraha. It's not Shuro as in the screen. It is Kaha Shuraha. Kashuraha yo bhita trata. Trata chaka sadguruhu. Ko hi jagat guru ruktaha. Ko hi jagat guru ruktaha. Shambhuhu. Jnanam kutaha shivat eva. Kaha shuraha. Yaha bhita trata. Trata cha kaha sadguruhu. Kaha hi Jagat Guruhu Uktaha Shambhuhu Jnanam Kutaha Shivad Eva. So how many questions here? Maybe 4. Yes, 4 questions. Kaha Shuraha, who is brave? Remember we had this question before. Yeah, already this question has come. Kaha Shuraha, and what was the answer there? The one who does not fall a prey to the glances of the woman, or in other words, who does not succumb to temptations, is a brave person. Yeah? But here, answer Acharya gives is Trata, Yaha Bhita Trata. Yeah? The one who protects the Bhitas, the ones who are frightened. Yeah? Then who is the Trata? What is the nature of this real protector? And here is an answer, Guru. Yeah? So here we will just see this again more detailed. Kaha Shuraha. Who is the really brave person? See, we see so many reports about how people, even children, they save somebody from drowning or from storms and fires or, from theft, etc. And they get these bravery medal awards. Here, Acharya says, Yaha Bhita Trata, the one who protects or offers security to the frightened one is the really brave person. So as children, parents protected us, then we found other people protecting us. Yeah? Then Bhagavan Acharya asks, Trata Chakaha, who really protects? And the answer given was Guru. See, the first question is, when I protect somebody who's frightened, I take the person to a safe place and assure my assistance and all that, the fear is gone, but it can return, and it will. So Guru is the only person who can remove the cause of fear itself for good. Yeah? And why does fear happen? Not only fear, anxiety, grief, depression, insecurity, all this happens because of Mula Karanam Avidya. So Guru removes the confusion and the root cause for samsara. And hence, Acharya says he's the real protector. Yeah? So Guru gives the ultimate protection. How does he give the ultimate protection? By Jnanam. Jnanam of what? Jnanam of the limitless Swarupa. Yeah? The knowledge of Paravidya, and only that knowledge is going to give me Nitya Abhayam. Yeah? Nitya Abhayam. And hence Guru is the real Trata. That is what Shankara says here. And also because Dvaitadhi Bhayam Bhavati. Whenever I see only differences, I'm engrossed in the Anatma world, I'm only seeing differences, you, me, he, she. That is enough to cause fear. But the Guru, by giving the Advaita Jnanam, is pointing to that Nitya Vastu, Atma, Atma Tattvam. And then the one who abides in that Atma Tattvam has no fear. Fear is gone for good. And that is why Guru is the real Trata. Yeah? Then the other two questions is, Kahahi Jagat Guruhu Uktaha. Who is said to be a Jagat Guru? Who can be called a Jagat Guru? And here the answer is Shambhuhu. Shambhuhu is the Lord, Dakshinamurti is Shambhuhu, from whom the entire knowledge flows. And there's one more question here. Jnanam Kutaha. From where does, or from whom does one acquire knowledge? Same answer. Shivat Eva, from Dakshina Murti. Yeah? So Jagat Guruhu, we say Shankaracharya's Jagat Guruhu, we say Kanchi Mahapariva's Jagat Guruhu. No? But once there's a very beautiful incident where Kanchi Mahapariva must have sensed a skeptic sitting in the satsang hall. Yeah? Then he said, oh, you all must be thinking, I am the Jagat Guru. Yeah? But do you know what is my understanding of Jagat Guru? You all think I'm the guru of the whole Jagat. No. Jagat Guruhu Yasya Saha. This is a Bahuvrihi Samasa. The Jagat Guru can be understood in two ways. One is Guru of the Jagat. Second is for whom the Jagat is the Guru. So in his ultimate humility, and how beautifully Kanchi Mahaperiva says, I don't consider myself the Guru of the whole Jagat. For me, the Jagat is the Guru. Yeah. So this question reminded me of that instant. Who is the Jagat Guru? Who is the one who, commands that respect from the whole Jagat? Yeah. And from whom this whole knowledge comes. Yeah, the knowledge of the Paravidya. We saw yesterday the story, beautiful story of Ganga Avataranam. No? How Ganga is flowing down from the Jata, Shiva's Jata. That is symbolic of the Jnanam that is coming from Adi Yogi Sadashiva. Yeah. Then we move on to, there is, I think, one more question here. Let me check again. No, we go to 56. Muktim labheta kasmat, muktim labheta kasmat, mukunda bhaktehe, mukunda bhaktehe, mukundah kaha, yas tarayet avidyam, kacha avidya, yad atmano Spurtihi, yat atmano spurtihi. 1 minute. Muktim labheta kasmat. Mukunda bhaktehi. Mukundaha kaha yaha tarayet avidyam. Kacha avidya yat atmanaha aspurtihi. Here in 56, we have 3 questions. Muktihi labheta kasmat. Easy to understand. How is mukti attained? Liberation? And answer is Mukunda Bhakti. Mukunda is Krishna as a supreme reality. By wholehearted devotion to Mukunda. And next question is, who is Mukunda? Yaha tarayet avidyam. The one who crosses, who helps cross over the avidya sagaram. Yeah. Then, kacha avidya. Kacha avidya is, one more question is here. What is avidya? Avidya is yat atmanaha aspurtihi. Aspurtihi is lack of clarity, mix up. Yeah. So here, from now on, we're entering, leaving the Karma Kanda of the Vedas and entering into the Jnana Kanda, yeah? The knowledge based. So here, the questions asked is, how is liberation attained? Mukti. No? First of all, what is liberation? We have to know. So liberation is freedom from samsara. Yeah? Why is there samsara? Because there is mix-up. Atma and Anatma mix-up. Yeah? And that is leading to moha. So avidya is the cause for kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, and then leading on to samsara life. Yeah? So here, by bhakti to mukunda. See, the word mukunda means mukti dadati. Iti mukundaha. The at the end is dadati. Mukunda, muktim dadati. One who gives mukti. Yeah? So this is what Krishna is repeatedly telling in the Gita also. Who knows me in reality, tatvataha, who gains that paravidya is liberated. But this Mukunda Bhakti is only going to come in the last birth. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapatyate. Krishna says, after many lives, one will get this Mukunda Bhakti. Bhakti, Jnana Bhakti will come to one. And Samahatma Sudurlabhaha. And it is very rare such a Mahatma is very rare. Yeah? So the Mukunda Bhakti is nothing other than the Jnana Bhakti. What Jnanam? Atma Jnanam. That is the how liberation is attained. Then Mukunda, who is Mukunda? One who crosses over, helps me cross over avidya. In other words, Mukunda appears in my life as a guru. And Kacha avidya, what is avidya? Avidya is yat atmanaha aspurtihi. Self-ignorance is avidya. Mistaking anatma for atma is avidya. Taking this limited self to be atma is avidya. So self-ignorance. Acharya puts that as self-ignorance, and by blessing one with knowledge, the Guru will take one beyond the avidya. 57. Kasya na shoko yahasyat, kasya na shoko yasyat akrodhaha. Kim sukham tushtihi, kim sukham tushtihi, ko raja ranjanakrit, kascha shva neecha sevako yasyat, kasya na shokaha, yah syat akrodhaha, kim sukham tushtihi, kaha raja ranjanakrit, kaha cha shva neecha sevakaha, yah syat. So easy verses here again. Kasya na shokaha. Who does not suffer from grief? Who is free from grief? Answer here is who has conquered anger. Akrodhaha. Then what is sukham? Tushtihi. Easy to understand. Tushtihi, contentment. Yeah. Now, Ashocyanan vashochastvam prajnavadanscha bhashase gatasu na gatasuscha na anashochanti panditaha. Gita, chapter 2. Who is free from grief? Are the panditas. Who are the panditas? The jnanis who have gained this knowledge. Now they only will be free from grief totally. Yeah. Here a different answer is given. Is the one who is akrodha, free from anger, who has conquered anger. Now, it is important to understand why anger happens. This also we have seen. Yeah? Kamat krodha bhavati krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha, buddhinashat pranashyati. So, krodha is nothing but some desire of mine got obstructed. Yeah, obstructed, and it is surfacing as this frustration, disappointment. But what is really anger is the inner pain. So whenever we see an angry person in life, Jnani will always be filled with compassion for that person instead of retaliating, because he has understood that one can be angry only when there is pain inside. So that person will take a two-step response. Yeah? Either will not say anything or walk away or try to do something to calm down that anger for the person. Yeah? This is called a two-step response. So akrodhaha, the one who has mastered anger, means what? Means one who is free from desire, binding desire. I must have this in order to be happy. One who is free from that kind of expectation and demand will be akrodhaha, and akrodhaha will be free from grief. Otherwise, in the heat of the moment, we get angry and then I regret. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? And then there is intense grief. Sorry, 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 sorry. That is how one can be free from grief, by understanding the nature of the mind and mastering having mastery over desires. Akrodhaha. Then we saw kim sukham. What is sukham? Tushtihi. Same thing, same idea. Tushtihi is contentment. Contentment is the biggest treasure, highest wealth. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Yeah? Because we know that if I fulfill one desire, 10 other desires crop up, are waiting. Then it's like insatiable fire. There is no alam buddhi. But in life, at some point, I should be able to say enough, with what I have now, I will simplify my life and focus more on the interior decoration. Shamadhamadi Shatka Sampatihi, develop contentment and have that tushti. Then we saw the question, Kaha Raja? Who is the king? And the answer there was Ranjanakrit. So in those days, Raja, but today, who is a true leader, who is an administrator, who is a good prime minister or president? No, Ranjanakrit means the one who makes the subject happy. Manoranjan, we know, Manoranjan means entertainment for the mind. But here it is Ranjanakrit, the one who causes Ranjanam, who causes happiness. Yeah? And who wins the trust of the public. Yeah? Very difficult for an administrator to do that, because all kinds of minds will be there. 100% trust I don't think can be assured. There will always be some mind that will rebel against even the best of intentions of an administrator. But this is the definition given, that if the Raja or the leader is honest and he's striving for the good of the public, wins their trust, he's a true king. Then Kahacha Shwa. Kahacha Shwa. Shwa, the Shabda is Shwan. Shwan means dog. Yeah? Dog. Now, what kind of question is this? So not who's like a dog, but what is a dog's life? Now here, in India, we have to see that the dogs are not like in America. In America, the dogs are driving in the Mercedes Benz, they're getting the best food and treatment, and they sleep with the owners on the bed. They have the dog house. But in India, what happens to the dog? Stones are being pelted against them. I was seeing the monsoons recently, it was very sad for me to see the dogs just outside, no shelter, and they're trembling. And that's a dog's life. So what is a dog's life? Acharya is asking here. Neecha sevakaha yaha syat. The one who works for a petty employer. Yeah, a petty employer is a mean boss, So the one who has no value for dharma, when we work for such an employee, then we reduce our status also. And it becomes as good as a dog's life. Yeah, that is meant here. Next, we move on to 58th. Here are the other questions. Who is a king? Ranjanakrit, whose life is likened to a dog's life, one working for a petty master. 58th. Ko mai parameshaha, ko mai parameshaha kaha, indrajalayate prapanchoyam, indrajalayate prapanchoyam, kasvapna nibho, jagrat vyavaharaha, satyamapi cha kim brahma. 4 questions here. Kaha mai. Who is the Lord of Maya? Mai. And it is Parameshaha, Parameshwara. Then Kaha Swapnaha Nibhaha. What is his magic? No, next is Kaha Indrajalayate. Sorry. Kaha Indrajalam is the magic. So what is the magic? Prapanchaha Ayam. This world. Yeah. We will see these two first. So Kaha Mai. The word for Mai is Mayin. Maya asya asti iti Mayin Shabda. The one who possesses Maya, or who the creative power belongs to whom, that is who Mayi is. Mayin. And that we know is the Lord. The Lord's creative power is Maya. And so the answer was Parameshaha. the wielder of Maya. You know? And what kind of Indrajalam is that? What kind of magic is that? Prapanchaha ayam. Now, we have seen a lot of this in the Gita recently, chapter 7, 9, Tattva Bodha, Kaivalya Upanishad. How by the power of Maya, Brahma manifests as the entire Jagat without changing. So, Brahma remains Brahma. So, the world is an appearance, just as a wave appears from water. But the water does not change. Yeah. So the water appears manifest as waves. So that is the magic. That is the Indrajalam. Yeah. Bhagavan's magic is Ayam Prapanchaha. Prapanchaha means everything is Pancha Pancha. You just look around. It is all Pancha Pancha. Everything, the whole world is derived from the Pancha Bhutas. And hence Prapancha. Prapanchaha Ayam. Then we saw Kaha Swapnaha Nibhaha. What resembles the dream? What is equal or likened to a dream? This also we have seen, especially in the Kaivalya Upanishad. Swapna is a very important prakriya in Vedanta to understand the nature of the Supreme. So the question is, what is here likened to a dream is Jagrat Vyavaharaha, the waking world. You can call it a long dream, longer than the night dream, but it is dream-like. Yeah. Now, how is a dream like? Because in a dream, the mind projects a dream world. So the dream world, dreamer, dream experiences are all born of the mind. And so Shastra says that the Jagrat Vyavahara is also experienced where? In my mind. Yeah. So the world is seen or perceived, experienced in the mind. Yeah. And then when I go to sleep, deep sleep, the world disappears and folds back into the mind. I give reality to the world. The world is born of my perception and the world returns to me. Is it not dreamlike? That is the answer here. Yeah. That is the knower, known knowledge or experiencer, experienced experiences are dream-like. But there is one difference between the night dream and the waking world dream. What is that? When I get up, then the dream is negated. But the dream of my Jagrat Vyavahara does not disappear, right? I still have to do my laundry. I still have to play my roles, and I still have to make food and, carry on with life. But there is the higher vision, the vision of the Atma Jnanam. And from that higher vision viewpoint, the Jagrat Vyavahara is dreamlike. That is the answer here. Then finally, Acharya asks here, Satyam api kim? Then what is real? If Jagrat Vyavahara is a dream, then what is real? One word answer, Brahma. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That is what we saw there. The last question here. The waking life is resembles a dream. Then what is Satyam? Is Brahma Satyam. Brahma Satyam. And that is the Vedanta here. The Vedanta, truth of Vedanta is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. What kind of Satyam is this? Paramarthika Satyam. We are going to come to that now soon in the next two verses. 59. Kim mithya yat vidyanashyam, kim mithya yat vidyanashyam, tucham tu shashavishanadi, tucham tu shashavishanadi, kacha nirvachya, kacha anirvachya, maya kim kalpitam, dvaitam. Now we come to the hardcore Vedanta here in the Prashnottara Ratnamalika. So, Kim Mithya? What is mithya? Answer: that which gets negated by knowledge. Yat vidya nashyam. Yat vidya nashyam gets negated by knowledge. Then what is tucham? Tucham kim? Shasha vishanadi. I'll come to all this in a moment. What is anirvachya? Kacha anirvachya. Is it there? Is it not? And answer is obviously Maya. Maya is anirvachaniyam. Then the last question in 59 is, what is kalpitam? Kim kalpitam? Superimposed. And a very brief and profound answer, duality. We'll have to spend some time here. But it'll be easy because most of you are attending Gita and Upanishad classes. Yeah. For the others, it will be a little challenging. So, kim mithya? Mithya is a very important word for what? For a reality that is dependent, which is not absolute. Yeah. Which means anything you take in Jagat, is it absolute? Is it permanent? No. So it is mithya. It is there? Yes. Is it really there? No. So this in-between status is called mithya. You know, we saw all these examples like sunrise. The sun rises from the east. Yeah, but does it really rise? No. Sun is stationary. The earth looks stable, but it is spinning. So these are mithya phenomenon. Yeah. That is what is not really there. What appears is not the truth. That is called mithya. Yeah. Very, very important in Vedanta is to understand mithya. So the body is also mithya. Yeah. And anything centered on the body is mithya. Very important. Mithya enjoys a intermediate, in-between status. It's dependent. Dependent on what? Satyam. Atma Satyam. So here the answer is Kim Mithya Yat Vidya Nashyam. You know, with a little more understanding, I understand that Mithya is supported by Nityavastu Satyam. Then there was a word Tucham Kim. You know, another important word. Tucham means non-existent. So Shastra gives the examples as Shasha Vishanadi. Shasha Vishanadi means the horns of a rabbit. Now, does a rabbit have horns? No. So that is an example for Tucham. Then, does the sky have flowers and a garden? No. Another example for Tucham. Yeah. So, Tucham Kim is something that is non-existent. Now, why do the Shastra mention Tucham is for us to understand that Mithya does not mean Tucham. Tucham really does not exist, but Mithya exists, appears to exist. Yeah, but it is not really there. It is not permanent. Yeah, and hence it is Anirvachya. Anirvachya means that is the status of Maya. It is there, but it is not really there. No, jo hote hue bhi nahi hai. That is Mithya. Yeah. So Mithya is neither Tucham nor Satyam. Yeah. Then last question here was Kim Kalpitam. What is superimposed? What is projected? And the answer we saw was Dvaitam. So the entire Jagat is a Adhyasa, superimposition on Brahma. Like even a wave is a superimposition on water. That is the Dvaitam. So do I see only waves, big wave, small wave, you know, tsunami and breaker waves, or do I see water? So the perception of differences, anatma differences, mithya differences is Dvaitam. And that is Kalpitam. I know this is a bit heavy here, but this is the Vedanta section here. And now let's conclude with 60th last shloka for today. Kim paramartikam syat, kim paramartikam syat, advaitam, advaitam, cha agnyata kutaha anadihi. Vapushascha poshakam kim, vapushascha poshakam kim, prarabdham, cha annadayi kim, cha ayuhu. Kim paramartikam syat, advaitam, cha agnyata or agnyata kutaha anadihi. Vapushaha poshakam kim, prarabdham, cha annadayi kim, cha ayuhu. Here, the last shloka for today has 4 questions, very important questions. Kim paramartikam syat. Okay, if the Jagat is mithya, then what is Satyam? What is really there? And obviously the answer is Brahma or Advaitam. Advaitam, Advitiyam, Brahma, Satyam, Nityavastu, all same answers. Then how does ignorance arise? Ajnata kutaha. And the answer, very good answer, Anadi. It is beginningless. Yeah. Then Vapushaha cha poshakam kim. What sustains the body? Obviously, prarabdha karma. And then what provides food to sustain the body is the lifespan. So 4 questions which are quite interrelated to the topic here. First is kim paramartikam syat. What is the absolute reality? Advaitam. Ekam advitiyam paramartha tattvam. That which is not visible, but it is eternally there. And mithya is that which is visible, but not eternal. Yeah. That is the difference. Then ajnata kutaha. Where does this ignorance come from? We are all born with capital ignorance, right? Were we born as jnanis or Gita knowledge, even though we may have studied in the past lifetime? No, we're born with ignorance. Yeah. So, when did this ignorance begin? In which birth? Who are my first parents? I will never know this because it is anadihi, beginningless. Yeah. Ignorance cannot begin. It is beginningless. It's like asking somebody, okay, you don't know French. Since when is there ignorance of French for you? Answer is anadi. No? There was never a time, that I knew. So, not knowing French, it is anadi. Ignorance is anadi. Then we saw the question, Vapushaha cha poshakam kim. Vapu means the body. Deha. Who is the poshakam for this body? Who is sustaining the body? Yeah. What keeps the body going? And the answer we saw was prarabdha karma. We know that prarabdha karma is the allocation of karma at birth. Prak arabdha iti prarabdha. It is a force, it is a momentum, it is like an arrow which is already shot. The ticket has been purchased already. And now we have boarded the train and we are on this Jiva Yatra for as long as the prarabdha continues. So that force or that intention will take care of the body till the body drops. See, even the jnanis, when they gain knowledge, Atma Jnanam, they don't drop, right? The prarabdha will continue till the momentum stops. It's like, when you switch off the engine on a slope, then you're not giving fuel or speed to the vehicle, but the momentum continues till the vehicle stops. Same thing, yeah. The prarabdha karma is the fuel and which has started the journey, and then we are exhausting, it is nourishing the body. Yeah. That is the role of prarabdha karma. Then the last question we saw was annadayi kim. Yeah. What provides food? What provides food? Rain sustains life, we saw that. And what provides food is ayuhu. That is, as long as there is prarabdha karma, we need not be worried about where the food will come from. It will definitely reach, because the Jiva Yatra has to complete for however many years. So the food answer comes from ayuhu, longevity. So as long as there is the life and there is karma, there is prarabdha karma, that sustenance is assured for the jiva. So with that, we completed 60 verses. And as you've seen, today we transited from the general instructions, that is the Vedika way of life, to the Vedic vision. And there we saw the three important words: Satyam, Mithya, Tucham. Tucham is non-existent. Yeah. And so, in Vedanta, there is a subject called Tarka, logic. Yeah. So there there is a reasoning involved, is Atma Satyam or Tucham. So Tucham is non-existent, but Mithya is existent but dependent. And Satyam is Paramarthika Satyam, it is ever existent. We'll conclude. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.